Greetings and salutations, my fellow YouTubers. My name is Jedusable, and today I'd like to show you my top 5 favorite Legend of Zelda boss battles. Number 5. Mulgara from The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. There's many reasons why this boss is my number 5. One, for his design, and two, for his soundtrack while you're fighting this guy. This guy is so much fun, just the waterfalls made out of sand, the soundtrack while you're beating the living shit out of him, going up hookshotting his tongue and slicing the heck out of it with your master sword. All of it is just so much fun, and I really, really enjoyed this boss fight, especially after that long. It took me so long to actually beat the Wind Temple in the Wind Waker, but thank God it topped it off with a great and amazing boss battle with such a wonderful piece of music. This guy is just really, really fun. His design is badass, and I listen to his theme song all the time. It's just a really, really great boss battle, and he is definitely always remain as my number 5. Number 4. Ganon, the final battle in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. When I first encountered this guy, it was probably the biggest moments of my childhood. The final battle after all those temples, all those years of just playing Ocarina of Time, coming home from school and just trying to get further and further. I didn't use strategy guides for this guy at all because I wanted it to be a badass fight. It was a badass fight. It was probably one of the memorial time, if not the entire Legend of Zelda series. Just the music, that feeling. This is it. This is the final battle, and just sending him back to the Sacred Realm, and all of that was just so amazing. I remember so much from this fight. I died many, many times, just days of frustration, just trying to beat the living, just trying to finally beat this guy. But anyways, what I love about him is not his designs, his dual swords, his beast-like form, the final battle music that plays in the background while you're beating him, and just the final moments of slashing and just knowing that you finally beat the game. You're finally done. It was such a great boss battle, and he remains as my number 4 of my top 5 favorite Zelda boss battle fights. Number 3. Number 3 has to go to Goat from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. There are so many various reasons of why I love this boss fight and everything about it. One is just the beginning where you have to unfreeze him with your new weapon, the fire arrows, which was an amazing weapon, by the way. And that little cutscene of him pretty much running over Link was quite humorous, and I found that to be quite funny. And then after that, just putting on that Goro mask, and then it's like the race begins. Let's do this, you know. And then you pretty much have to race after your body with spikes sticking out of your entire Goron Link body, and colliding it with his to damage him and eventually kill him. But what was great about this boss fight was not only the tactics and strategy to defeat him, along with, of course, the soundtrack, which was also really good. But as the fight got on and he got closer and closer to his demise, is that he'd start hurling bombs at you, spikes would start falling from the ceiling, and just huge boulders would try to just, everything in his power, he was trying to stop you. And it was even way funner, like sometimes he would stop and like shoot this lightning attack out of his helmet or his head. I'm not sure what the exactly the Zelda term is for it, but it was a really, really awesome lightning attack, which I thought even added more depth to his gameplay, just the fight overall. And this was such a really, really fun boss fight, and I'll replay it over and over just to beat the living crud out of this boss. His design is great, the soundtrack is great, and the way they made use of the Goron mask in this game was just fabulous, and I really love it. Number 2. Number 2 goes to Argarok, the dragon, the boss battle fight from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, City in the Sky. I'm not going to talk too much about the temple, but boy was it hell, and I'm just so glad that they really, really made a boss fight that's a dragon that actually looks like a dragon, unlike Volvagia from the Fire Temple on OT. Anyways, Argarok, his design is really, really great. Dragons are one of my favorite mythological creatures. The tactics and his gameplay is really, really great. Just using the use of the double claw shot was used to its full extent, which I love so much. It made me feel like the item was a necessity to this temple. It wasn't just like a little pickup. How many times you had to hit him was really great. The length of the battle was great. The music was really, really well put into this fight. And just climbing up the tower into the very, very top of the tower, you're as high as you can be. and then just going even higher just to beat the living crap out of this dragon who's got the mirror shard, of which that's your goal, that's what you're wanting. And it was just all so much fun, and it was probably even better than the Ganondorf and Zant boss battles that you see later in Twilight Princess. This fight was fun. It had a great length. It used the claw shocks to its max extent, and the boss design just was amazing. I love this boss fight. I love it to death, and I'm so glad that they actually put a dragon in Zelda that doesn't look like a snake or doesn't resemble other dragons such as Volvagia. Anyway, Argarok, you are one badass dragon. I wish I could adopt him as a pet. Number 1. My number 1 all-time favorite is Majora's Wrath from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is my favorite Legend of Zelda game in the entire series for many reasons, and this is one. It had the best boss battle that I've ever fought, and I think was the absolute funnest. I'll go through every reason as to why I love this boss battle. 1, the music. It's creepy, like this guy. It's atmospheric. It's really, really mysterious. It's dark. It fits the entire theme of this game. It's dark, it's creepy, it's evil. It gives you that feel like that this guy could just destroy you any minute. His attacks are powerful. His music is great. His design is just wonderful, yet really, really creepy and dark, much like the theme of the game. And there's so many reasons why I thought this probably was the best boss fight, even better than Ganon and OOT, or maybe even other versions of Ganon, such as in Wind Waker, or maybe even Twilight Princess. This boss fight, he uses his whips to attack, he uses bombs to attack, he'll hurl you across the room with his gigantic long whips. It was all so well put together, and it just felt like it was up to you to save Termina from this guy, to make sure that the moon didn't collide into Clocktown, that the entire world wasn't gonna meet its doom because of this guy. It was great, it was fun, it was amazing, and I really, really did enjoy this boss fight. But what was really, really interesting to me is that the final sequence of the game, spoiler, is whenever the moon kind of faded it, whenever Majora's Wrath was defeated. And not only that this guy was so great that he had 3 phases. But this phase, of course, is my favorite. I thought the other 2 kind of lacked a little bit, but this one topped all the other ones off. The attacks to use against him, his strong points, his weakness, the music, his design, everything was so well put into this, and they really, really, Nintendo did a great job just putting it into this game, and I enjoy it ever so much. Alright guys, well that's it for me. That was my top 5 favorite Legend of Zelda boss battles. Please remember to rate, subscribe, and even tell your friends, add to your favorites. And by the way, just a little side note, this was my first video, and if you guys could give me any, maybe how to improve videos in the future, anything I could have done better, or maybe even things you disliked or even liked or loved about this video, it would help me out and I'd greatly appreciate it. Alright guys, this is Jedusable signing off.